Hi, I'm Rob, and in this video I'm going to see if I can bring Assetto Corsa Competizione on their PS5 using Thrustmaster's T598 direct axial drive wheel to life, because a lot of people have said in this game it just doesn't feel like it does in other games. In Gran Turismo 7, in WRC 9, 10 Generations, in F1 it feels lively, it feels like there's good feedback, you get good detail. But in this game it feels flat, it feels dull, and it feels floaty. Can we fix it? Well, the good news is, yes we can, but first of all let's just take a quick look at the initial setup in the game and why it's just so wrong. Gloves must go on. I do not touch my hypercar wheel with human hands. It's illegal. Right, so this is the default settings of the game, and I'm going to explain why these are just so wrong and why it leads to the feeling of this game just feels like wrong, it feels floaty and all the rest. Because I just don't understand why it's set up like this, to be honest. But I'll go over and explain what these things mean at the same time, but you can ignore all the advanced ones. Just the first four that we're interested in, which is gain, minimum force, dynamic damping, and road effects. Frequency at 400 Hz, you can leave that all the time. It basically means that the game, or the wheel, sort of reads what's going on 400 times a second, which is absolutely fine for this level of wheel. Now gain, on 100, to most people, they think is going to be right, but not all the time. Like a lot of people think the more force feedback the better it is, but this is what can lead to those floaty feelings and the lack of immersion in the game. Think of it like a speaker that's given off too much bass. If a speaker is too bassy, it drowns out in the mid-range, it drowns out those lovely vocals and things like that, and you actually miss a lot of detail because it's been drowned out by the bass. This is what happens if you have the gain too high in a game like this. Too much gain, you're going to get too much force feedback in various moments of the game, and it's drowning out, and you're just missing a ton of lower and mid-range detail. Actually, less is more in this kind of thing. But conversely, too weak, and you miss out on some of those more subtle effects, as well as some of the stronger effects when they should be there. So I'm going to show you a perfect setting to have this at. Minimum force boosts the very small details of the wheel so it doesn't feel dead. Think of it like anything below X amount, what you have it set at, boost it a bit. So at 0, it's not doing anything. So a nice setting around about 10 to 12, maybe 14, 15 would be really good to make this feel more realistic in this game with this wheel. The next one, dynamic damping. I have no idea why this is set on 100. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's basically a fake layer of extra damping. But the thing is, this game already has natural damping based on the car's physics. So there's literally no need for it. It just makes the wheel feel completely dull. And it's one of the main reasons why you're losing so much detail when you play this game with the default settings. And next up we have road effects. Now this is set to 0, and another thing I just do not understand in these initial settings, makes zero sense to me. Road effects, this gives you the feeling of texture of the road. It shows lumps and bumps in the road. When you go over the rumble strips you can feel it more and things like that. And it also just gives a more feeling of being in a real car. When it's set to 0, it feels like you're floating, which is why some people have said it feels like I'm floating in this game. And it's all like just doesn't feel right, and it's these initial settings are just a complete mess. But the thing is, with road effects too low and you lose that kind of feeling of road texture and lumps and bumps, and too high and it can feel too kind of buzzy, as if there's just too much going on, and it can make it feel unrealistic. And frequency 400 Hz, that can stay the same. This is basically the update rate. It basically gives 400 updates to your wheel per second, which means you get a hopefully nice realistic experience. Right, so let's go out with this initial setup and I'll tell you what I'm feeling, and then we'll change to my recommended setups and I'll tell you why it's just so much better. It's just ridiculously so much better. Right, so what am I doing? Let's go back out and drive. For a start, immediately there's no road texture at all. I mean, there's quite a lot of firmness to the wheel and how hard it is to turn, but no road texture, no bumps, no nothing. On straights it feels like you're floating. It's just, it feels kind of empty, and the feel of the wheel kind of feels like a brick. It's kind of like one-dimensional, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's just no good at all. If I go over the rumble strips, virtually nothing from the rumble strips. It's like, you should get that jodder when you go over the rumble strips. Again, virtually nothing. Nothing. No wonder people were complaining when they used this mode. It's absolutely awful. So let's sort it out, go back into the settings, and I'll show you how to make this literally 10 times better. But before you do any of that, you want to change a setting in the T598 itself. This is really important and changes the feel of the wheel absolutely massively in this game. What we're going to do is press the settings button and the L3, then we're going to move down to the menu where it's got mode, and you've got the B, S, P and E settings. But what do these things actually mean? Now the first option is B, which is balanced mode. This is just all-round average force feedback, strength and precision. Really good sort of standard go-to mode. S is sport. It's got a stronger feel and a heavier, more aggressive feedback. P is precise mode. This is kind of the opposite of sport mode, and the wheel feels lighter to use and is easier to turn. So this is a really good mode for those tracks requiring finesse. And E is endurance. This has a more damped feel and it's a kind of slower response, but it does make the car feel more stable, especially at higher speeds, and therefore just slightly easier to control overall. So for me, for this game, I really like it in balanced mode, or if you find the car a little bit hard to control and want to make it a little bit easier to control, then go for E, endurance. Right, so as we saw, that is the initial settings. Absolutely terrible. Gain 100, minimum force 0, dynamic damping 100, road effects not. Absolutely terrible. Let me show you my settings and I'll tell you how much they make a difference to the game. Right, now game, I've got an 84. So you may think, okay, that's not too far away from where it was before at 100, but it actually makes a massive, massive difference. It's enough to actually feel weight from the wheel still, make it feel like we're getting some nice feedback, but it gives enough headroom so we can still feel a lot of those low level and mid level effects at the same time. Minimum force 10. Those super low level effects are boosted by this. But you don't want it too high because you don't want that exaggerated. So 10 I find an absolute sweet spot. Dynamic damping, as I said before, don't need it. This game does it on a car by car basis, like on its natural physics. Why do you need it boosted? Naught. Feels really nice on naught, and you feel some more feedback coming through as well, which is natural and nice. And road effects set to 100. It feels great on 100. You feel the lumps and bumps more, you feel adhered to the road, you feel the texture of the road, you feel when the car is going to slip a bit more, and things like that. Really, really good. So let's take it out of there now, and I'll explain the differences I'm feeling in this setup compared to the initial setup. Being this is for PS5, it is for a T598. On PC, it goes way, way beyond what you can do on a console, and you get even more options, and it just feels that much better again on PC. So here we go, those settings locked in. Let's go back out there and give it a try compared to those base settings, which I really, really don't like, and I'll explain what I'm feeling and how they compare to those base settings as well. I am playing this in mode E on the T598. This is the endurance mode. I actually do like this overall, that slightly dampened feel, and the car is more stable on the straights at high speed and things like that. It just makes the car that much easier to control, but you do actually get some really nice fine details still come through as well. This is what I actually based my settings on, this E mode in endurance, and I basically played around with it until, to me, it felt just right. So let's crack on with it, go back out there and give it a drive. Straight away, I've got road texture. I've got a feel in the car. It actually feels like I'm in a car on the road. You've got that slight but tangible feeling of being in a car on the road, attached to a road, not floating. Right with speed bumps, I can feel it. The car's about to go into a slide. I can feel it. That was all lost before. For various reasons. A, the road setting was like completely off, so you couldn't feel any of that. And the overall force feedback was too high, which meant you lost that low and mid-level force feedback. So it was getting drowned out by the constant, stronger force feedback. By dialing down the gain from just 100 to 84, you actually bring back in a load of those finer details which was before lost. and adding that road texture, you just feel the road a lot more. You can feel when the car's about to slip out. The rumble strips are felt, and it's giving feedback all the time in just a small amount, and it feels much more like it should be. I mean, it's not perfect still. I mean, Gran Turismo, Formula 1, WRC games, they are better experiences overall, I'd say, on force feedback, but it doesn't mean to say this is not bad, just not as good. I mean, if everything's amazing in one way or another, something has to still be sort of bottom of that list, if you know what I mean. It's like an NFL team or a Premier League football team. Doesn't matter how good everybody is, somebody in the league still has to come last. And this is kind of last place in a way of all the games I've played regarding force feedback feel and how it translates in the game and things like that. But it's still good. I don't play it and think this is a bad experience. I still completely enjoy it. But only in these settings. Now I've actually changed the settings to how I've got them now. It's a very, very playable and enjoyable experience. I don't think, oh, this is really bad. I sort of did before on those default settings. It was like, this just doesn't feel right for a T598, especially on the PS5. But now I've got it with these settings, it feels absolutely fine. I don't think, oh, I'm playing a game with bad force feedback. There was really nice feedback over those rumbles then, as I went around that corner. It feels good now. It's enjoyable. I don't think about the force feedback in a bad way anymore, or a good way. I'm just enjoying the game and thinking it feels like just a good game with decent force feedback. I mean, sure, if you've got a PC and things like that, it's a different level completely on this game. And some people that have played the PC game with this, maybe comparing it to that, because it's like you do get tons more options and the force feedback is loads better on the PC. But the PS5 is not a PC. There's way more options on the PC. It is what it is on the console. Well, just one other quick thing I want to go over while I'm here, and it's about the conspiracy theories I've read about this game, which is kind of quite interesting. Now, a lot of people have noticed that many Fanatec signs around this game, and it's because they are the sponsors of this game. So basically, a lot of people are thinking, okay, hang on, Fanatec, a rival of Thrustmaster in the race wheel industry, are they doing this on purpose? Have they actually sort of made the game initially not work so well with the Thrustmaster T598 on purpose, just to make their products look even better? But I don't think that's the case. I think it's just the nature of the beast. It's like, it's just what it is, and it's still a very, very good experience with the T598 once you've tweaked the settings to as I set them up there. But let me know in the comments what you think about these settings. I think it improves the game dramatically, but you do have to remember to change the mode on the wheel to that E mode at the same time. But you can have a B mode balance at the same time. I just think that the E mode endurance makes it even better, makes it nicer to control as well, which is good. But there's a video. If you enjoyed it, it'd be really cool if you bash that like and subscribe button. It really does help. But most of all, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.